Joe Louis learned that being undefeated doesn't mean you can't be taught. Washington, D.C., March 9, 1968. Saturday afternoon. The International Karate Championship. This isn't local tournament. This isn't regional competition. This is the event, the gathering that defines American karate. 1,500 spectators, martial artists from 12 countries, Japan, Korea, Philippines, Brazil, Europe, all here, all watching, all judging. The venue is Convention Center downtown, large open floor, competition area marked with tape, bleachers on 3 sides, overhead lights creating dramatic shadows, the air thick with focus, with intensity, with the particular energy that comes from gathering hundreds of trained fighters in one space. Joe Louis stands on competition floor, between scheduled matches, 6 feet tall, 190 pounds, short dark hair, muscular build, earned through 10 years of training, 5 years of competition. He's wearing traditional white karate gi, black belt tied around waist. The belt is worn, frayed at edges, not new. This is belt that's seen thousands of hours training, hundreds of fights. Joe Louis is 24 years old, U.S. National Karate Champion, heavyweight division. His record speaks for itself. 38 professional fights, 38 victories, most by knockout. He's never been defeated, never been seriously challenged, never found opponent who could match his combination of size, speed, power, and technique. Joe didn't come from martial arts family, came from military, joined Marines at 18, stationed in Okinawa, discovered karate there, traditional Okinawan karate, the birthplace, the source. Trained under masters, absorbed everything, returned to America, started competing, dominated immediately. Now he's here, at peak, undefeated champion, and he knows it. Between matches, tournament tradition allows demonstrations, champions show technique. Sometimes they challenge spectators, test their skills against volunteers, show karate superiority, entertain crowd, build reputation. Joe decides this is perfect moment. He addresses crowd, voice loud, confident. I want to issue challenge. Anyone here believes Kung Fu can match karate in effectiveness, come demonstrate. Survive 25 seconds against me, and I'll bow to you right here, in front of everyone. I'll acknowledge your art publicly. The crowd reacts. 1,500 people murmuring, some laughing. This is bold challenge. Joe Louis is champion, heavyweight. Nobody in this room can last 25 seconds against him in tournament rules. This is entertainment. Watch champion dominate. Prove point. Bruce Lee sits in bleachers. Section C, row 5. Wearing simple black shirt, black pants, casual clothes. He's here as invited guest. Tournament organizers know who he is. Martial arts instructor from Los Angeles, teaching something called Jeet Kune Do, hybrid approach, drawing from multiple styles. But most spectators don't know him, just another Asian man in crowd, watching quietly. Bruce is 32 years old, 8 years older than Joe. Been training since childhood, Wing Chun in Hong Kong. Then developed his own approach, philosophy. Absorb what is useful. Reject what is useless. Add what is specifically your own. He's in Washington visiting students, came to tournament to observe, to learn, to see how American martial arts developing. No agenda, no need to prove anything, just watching. Someone in crowd recognizes Bruce, points, says loud enough for section to hear, that's Bruce Lee. He teaches Kung Fu in California, Jun Fan Gung Fu. I've heard about him. Joe Louis hears this, looks up at bleachers, sees Bruce, sees small Asian man, maybe 140 pounds, watching calmly. Joe smiles. Perfect demonstration target. Small, quiet, probably traditional, probably thinks Kung Fu superior to karate. This will be good lesson, for him, for everyone watching. Joe points directly at Bruce. You, the instructor from California, come down, show everyone your Kung Fu, 25 seconds, that's all. Survive that, I bow. Fail, and everyone here learns what works and what doesn't. 1,500 people turn to look at Bruce. The crowd energy shifts. This isn't random spectator, this is another instructor, another martial artist. This could be interesting. Bruce doesn't move immediately, just sits there, watching Joe, reading him. Seeing young champion, confident, skilled, also arrogant, also limited, believes his tournament success means he understands fighting completely. Classic mistake. Excellent at one thing, assumes that makes him excellent at everything. The man next to Bruce leans over, whispers, "You don't have to do this. He's undefeated champion, heavyweight. This is his home." Bruce says quietly, "I know who he is. I also know what he doesn't know." Bruce stands, walks down bleacher steps, onto competition floor. Crowd gets louder, excited. This is unexpected. Actual martial arts instructor accepting challenge, not random spectator, someone who might actually know something. Bruce walks across floor to center, stands 3 feet from Joe. The size difference is obvious. Joe is 6 feet, Bruce is 5'7". Joe is 190 pounds of muscle, Bruce is 140 pounds. Lean, functional build, not bodybuilder, not powerlifter, martial artist. Tournament official comes over. Senior referee says to both, "This is demonstration, light contact only, no injuries, stop when I signal, understood?" Joe nods, still smiling, confident. "This will be easy." Bruce nods, says nothing, just waits. Referee says, "Mr. Lee, 25 seconds, survive without being dominated or controlled." Mr. Lewis maintains his challenge. If you survive, he bows. If you don't, challenge stands. Ready? Bruce says, "Ready." Joe takes karate stance, traditional, perfect form, hands up, weight distributed. This is stance drilled 10,000 times, tournament stance, competition stance, the stance that's won 38 fights. Bruce stands naturally, not formal stance, just standing, hands relaxed at sides, weight balanced. This bothers Joe slightly. No guard, no defensive posture. Either Bruce is foolish or he knows something Joe doesn't. Joe assumes foolish. Referee signals start. Countdown begins. 1,500 people watching. Clock in everyone's mind. 25 seconds. Can small kung fu instructor survive against undefeated karate champion? Joe doesn't attack immediately. Circles. Shows crowd his movement, his control. This is demonstration. Make it educational. Show technique, then dominate. He throws testing kick. Roundhouse. Fast, powerful. Tournament technique. Bruce isn't there, moved offline. 6 inches, minimal movement. Joe's kick extends into air. He retracts, resets. Crowd murmurs. Fast movement from kung fu instructor. Joe throws combination. Jab, cross, low kick. 3 technique sequence. Tournament classic. This has finished dozens of opponents. Bruce slips jab, redirects cross with minimal hand contact. Checks low kick, clean defense. Efficient, no wasted motion. 5 seconds elapsed. Joe realizes this won't be easy demonstration. This instructor has real skill, real speed. Okay, time to show karate power. Joe commits. Full power reverse punch. The technique that's knocked out championship opponents. Traveling toward Bruce's chest. Full force, full speed. Bruce's hand intercepts Joe's wrist mid-extension. Not blocking, not deflecting, trapping. Wing Chun technique. Bruce's fingers wrap around Joe's wrist, specific pressure points, not gripping hard, just controlling. Joe tries to pull back, can't. His wrist is controlled, structure compromised. 8 seconds elapsed. Bruce steps inside Joe's guard, close range. Too close for Joe to generate power, too close for karate techniques to work effectively. Bruce's free hand touches Joe's solar plexus. Not strike, not full power, just touch. Pressure, precise point. Joe's breath exits. Diaphragm spasms, not severely, not debilitating, but enough. Enough to prove point, enough to show opening, enough to demonstrate that 25 seconds is irrelevant when you understand structure, leverage, and nervous system. Bruce releases Joe's wrist, steps back, hands at sides, waiting, not attacking further, not dominating, just demonstrating, just teaching. Joe stands there. Breathing returns. Normal rhythm. He's not hurt, not injured. But something happened. Something he didn't expect, didn't understand, couldn't defend against. His tournament techniques, his championship form, his undefeated record. None of it mattered in those 8 seconds. 1,500 people are completely silent, watching, waiting, trying to understand what they just witnessed. Champion's attack stopped, controlled, demonstrated against, in 8 seconds, not 25, 8. Referee looks at Joe, looks at Bruce, uncertain what to call. This wasn't fight. This was lesson. Joe stands straight, looks at Bruce. No smile now, no confidence, just realization, respect. He bows, deep bow, traditional martial arts bow, the kind reserved for teachers, for masters, for those who've shown you something you didn't know. Crowd erupts, not mocking Joe. Respecting both fighters, respecting that Joe had courage to issue challenge and honor to keep word. Bruce bows back. Equal depth, equal respect, then says quietly, meant only for Joe, "You're very skilled, your karate is excellent, strong, fast, effective in tournament context, but tournament has rules, has structure. Real fighting has neither. What I showed you is principle, not technique. Principle of economy, of efficiency, of understanding your opponent before you engage them." Joe says, "Teach me." Bruce says, "You're champion. You don't need teaching." Joe says, "I just learned I need exactly that. Everything I know works in tournament, against tournament fighters, but you move differently, thought differently. I want to understand that." Bruce says, "Come to Los Angeles, visit my school, we'll train." Joe says, "When?" Bruce says, "Whenever you're ready to empty your cup." 2 months later, Joe Louis flies to Los Angeles, visits Bruce's school in Chinatown. Junfan Gung Fu Institute, small space, wooden floor, heavy bags, training equipment, nothing fancy, just functional. Bruce greets him. No mention of tournament, no reference to demonstration, just, "Ready to train?" Joe says, "Yes." Bruce doesn't start with techniques, starts with principles, explains economy of motion, centerline theory, the importance of positioning over power, how to read opponent before they move, how to control structure instead of fighting strength. Joe listens, takes notes, asks questions. For first time since he started karate, he's student again, not champion, student. Training continues. Joe visits Los Angeles monthly, sometimes twice monthly. Bruce teaches him trapping, teaches him sensitivity drills, Chisao, sticky hands, teaches him how to integrate these principles with his karate base, not replacing karate, enhancing it, making it more complete. Joe's fighting changes. He continues competing, continues winning, but fights look different, more efficient, less wasted motion, more control, less telegraphing. He starts finishing fights faster, with less effort, with more precision. People in karate community notice, ask what changed. Joe tells them, "I'm training with Bruce Lee, learning principles I didn't know existed." This creates ripple effect. Other karate champions visit Bruce, Chuck Norris, Bob Wall, Mike Stone, all champions, all successful, all recognizing they can learn more. Bruce's school becomes gathering place for elite American martial artists, not traditional kung fu school, laboratory, testing ground, place where styles meet and merge. Joe Louis fights for another 5 years, retires undefeated, 68 professional victories, 0 losses, starts teaching, opens his own schools, but everything he teaches includes Bruce's principles, the lesson from those 8 seconds in Washington, the understanding that being best at one thing doesn't mean knowing everything about all things. Years after Bruce's death, Joe gives interview. Martial Arts magazine. They ask about his career, his championship run, his undefeated record. Joe says, "The most important moment in my martial arts journey wasn't winning title, wasn't any championship fight. It was the 8 seconds in Washington when Bruce Lee taught me that I knew less than I thought. That moment changed everything, made me real martial artist instead of just champion." The interviewer asks, "Do you think you could have beaten Bruce if it was real fight, full contact?" Joe is quiet for a moment, then says, "Bruce showed me in 8 seconds that question is wrong. Fighting isn't about who's stronger or who wins. It's about understanding, about learning, about becoming complete. I was undefeated champion, Bruce was teacher, and those 8 seconds taught me more than 38 victories ever did. Tournament still exists. International Karate Championship still happens annually, but story of that day, March 9th, 1968, still gets told. Bruce Lee accepting Joe Louis's challenge, 8-second demonstration, champion bowing, becoming student, story becomes legend, becomes teaching tool, becomes reminder that real mastery isn't defeating everyone, it's knowing there's always more to learn. 1,500 witnesses saw it. 8 seconds that changed American martial arts. Not because Bruce defeated Champion, because he showed Champion there was more to learn, and Champion had wisdom to accept that lesson. 8 seconds, one bow, one teacher, one student, and legacy that continues 50 years later.